Good evening, blessed ones, and thank you so much for your patience. Thank you also for joining us for the annual Holocaust Remembrance program. It's dedicated to the memories of founding members Dolores Stein and Sue Ellen Panitch. This year's event will feature a showing of the HBO documentary, The Number on Great Grandpa's Arm. The 19-minute documentary is both a heartbreaking story of Jewish life in Eastern Europe before and during the Holocaust, and a heartwarming story of a bond that reaches across generations. It tells the story that must be told while survivors still remain with us. We are grateful to Mark Todd and the Holyoke High School Madrigal Singers, Madrigals, that they will once again bless us with their music. If you have never heard them, shame on you. You are in for a treat. And Mark, I want to thank you and tell you how much I appreciate, first, that you answer the phone for my calls, and then that you always say yes, just tell me when and where. Many of you here knew Dolores and Sue Ellen. As a board, we have dedicated ourselves to continue their legacies within the community they both love so much. We light 2 candles at each event this year to symbolically keep their lights shining bright in our hearts and as a beacon of hope in a world that too often can be so dark. As these candles are lit, we ask that everyone observe a moment of silence for 2 remarkable women. No, okay, I can see how this is going to go. That's it. In the blue bag, over on the other side, is the lighter. So Scott Stein, who is Dolores' son, will light both candles. And we ask everyone to observe a moment of silence for 2 remarkable women. Thank you. I invite Scott Stein, Dolores' son, forward to read his mother's opening script.
Good evening. On behalf of the Council for Human Understanding, the Holyoke Public Schools, the Holyoke Senior Center, and the Stein and Panitch families, I would like to welcome you to Holyoke's annual Holocaust Remembrance program. Yom HaShoah, as it is officially known, was established by the Israeli government in 1951 as an annual observance on the Hebrew date corresponding to the anniversary of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising in April 1943. This day has been set aside for remembering the victims of the Holocaust and for reminding mankind what can happen to civilized people when bigotry, hatred, and indifference reigns. This month, it has been 78 years since Allied troops pressing towards Berlin in the final months of World War II liberated the Nazi concentration camps. The horrors they saw were unbelievable. For those who lived in the camps and for those who died there, horror and the inhumanity were not new. Starvation and disease, forced labor, torture, and smoking crematoriums were their daily existence. Some survived on hope, some on determination to live and give testimony to this evil and to try to safeguard future generations against a possible rebirth of such a catastrophe. Remembering the lessons of the Holocaust has become even more important considering the violence around the world today. This is why we are here tonight. There are those who claim that enough attention has been given to the millions who perished, and that it's time to move on to the concerns of the living. If the world has grown weary of the mourning, is the answer to be, we will forget? Can we forget the death of so many? Can we forget the death of even one? We remember the fighters of the ghetto, the fortitude and heroism of many who gave their lives in the battle against the Nazi oppressors. Tonight we remember and honor the many Christians who, at risk and sometimes at the cost of their lives, helped rescue Jews from the persecution and death. They were righteous. Those actions were those of one who says, "I am my brother's keeper." The world must always remember this catastrophe. That is why we are here tonight. Whoever sheltered or even simply assisted a Jew risked punishment. Only a few thousand Jews in Germany and Poland were able to survive the Holocaust. They were hidden in cellars, convents, and attics by citizens who were courageous and compassionate. They were righteous. Each year we remember the over 5,000 communities together with 6 million Jews who were wiped out by Nazi Germany in its savage war against the Jews and against Judaism. It is our sacred duty to memorialize the names of these communities. We must tell our children of it. Let our children tell their children, and their children another generation. We are here tonight so we can remember the memory of 6 million members of the Jewish people who died at the hands of the Nazis and their collaborators. We are here tonight so we may remember the families who were wiped out by the oppressors, the communities and the synagogues and the culture, the educational and religious institutions that were destroyed in an attempt to erase the name and culture of the Jewish people. We are here tonight to remember the millions of non-Jews who were swept away in the Nazi nightmare. We must remember that no group, no individual can afford to ignore the lessons of history. Between 1933 and 1945, Nazi Germany systematically persecuted and murdered millions of people with mental and physical handicaps, gypsies, homosexuals, Soviet prisoners of war, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Jews. With time, survivors and children of survivors are disappearing, and with them, the living testimonies of the Holocaust. We are witnessing Holocaust deniers making it a difficult mission to educate the whole world about the Holocaust. We must be alert and aware, for today there is hate and discrimination along with genocide in our world. We are here tonight to remember the role we have to educate each generation to the fact that the human race must always stand united against racism and hate, regardless of who is made the target. We must not ignore evil or be indifferent to it just because it is aimed at someone else. That is why we are here tonight. Tonight we dedicate this program to remembering the Jewish children who lived under Nazi occupation. Between 1933 and 1945, approximately 1 million of these children perished during the Holocaust. Hundreds of children played important roles as part of the Jewish resistance movements. Some wrote diaries that documented the atrocities committed against the Jews by the Nazis and their collaborators. Some children secretly painted and drew images of the horrible conditions under which they lived in the ghettos and concentration camps. Children also served as messengers and smugglers of food and clothing to people starving in the ghettos. The lives of so many children were brutally and unnecessarily cut short. Please remember with pride the important things these children did to help others survive and the risks they took to be part of the effort to fight against the Nazis and to help document the Holocaust. We are here tonight to remember these brave children. Will the Holocaust be remembered in 50 or 100 years from now? Will it be taught? Will it be believed? For over 30 years, the Greater Holyoke Council for Human Understanding has sponsored a Holocaust commemoration program, reminding us why we are here. And with your support and caring, we can continue to help to ensure that the Holocaust is remembered, taught, and believed for years to come. That is why we are here tonight. We extend thanks to the Senior Center Director, Neve Rodriguez, and the Council on Aging for hosting this evening's program. To the Holyoke Public Schools, to Mark Todd, and the Holyoke High School Madrigals for their beautiful voices raised for those children who no longer have a voice. And to the board of the Greater Holyoke Council for Human Understanding for their diligent work within the community. George Eliot once wrote that the highest form of understanding is empathy, for it requires us to suspend our egos and live in another's world. It requires profound purpose larger than the self kind of understanding. And finally on this night, let us dedicate ourselves to honoring the legacy of founding members Dolores Stein and Sue Ellen Panage, without whom this program would not exist. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Todd, and this is our Madrigal Choir from Holyoke High School. And we are so pleased to be here and to represent, but also to honor. And this has been something that we've done for many, many, many years. Started doing it at the library. That's how long ago it was, and it was a long time ago. And this is something we look forward to every year. And I've finally, we're allowing it now since we've had COVID, kind of stopped everything, obviously, but we're now having the ability to do these types of concerts, and we're very, very, very pleased and very honored. So I'd like to, and this first piece that we're doing is going to be an arrangement of Amazing Grace, and we have a soloist in here, and it will be Giselle Santos.
This is the story of Sherlock Feldman, my great-grandfather. He was put in the Nazi death camps during World War II. This is the close-up of his number from Auschwitz, A17606. That was his number, and he told us back then, your number was your name. That was all he was to them. Hi, I'm Elliot. I'm 10 years old. This is a picture of my family. I have my dad, my mom, and there's my brother, Jared. This is my great-grandfather. He is a Holocaust survivor. We see him every summer, and whenever we come visit, we play games, hang out, read our books together. And this is one of his hats. He loves wearing hats.
Every time I go to the store, I buy a hat. I buy another hat. I keep buying. I say, how many hats you need? I said, well, I like those hats.
As far as I can remember, I've been asking questions. He's good at storytelling. We talk about all kinds of things. My favorite topic to usually talk to him about would be what he did before the war. Who's that?
That's my daddy.
That's your dad?
Yeah, my daddy, that's my aunt. That's Sammy.
Sammy and
Sammy,
then,
that's
so that
me.
must be you and Sally?
That's my wife, Sally. I had a big family.
Can you tell me a story about where you're from?
Where I was born?
Yeah, where are you?
I was born in Poland.
Where in Poland?
Where the name, the town, Sosnowiec.
Was it pretty or what?
Oh yeah, nice place. We live good there.
Did you go to school?
Sure, I went to school.
What'd you do for fun?
I went to watch the soccer game. Very happy life. We have a good family. We were very close. In summertime we went for vacation. It was a good life.
What did your father do as his job?
He was a cap maker. He made hats. That was his business. He was very successful. And Saturday, everybody went to temple. My father dressed up, elegant, with a nice hat. He was a smart man. He was young, but he was smart.
Did you ever learn how to drive a car?
Drive a car. We have a horse, not a car. We have no cars.
Great Poppy told me there's always trouble for Jews, but your religion didn't really matter back then, until the Nazis came. In Germany, there was a lot of problems going on, and Adolf Hitler made a big speech and said, oh, the Jews are causing all the problems. If we kill all the Jews, then we're going to have no more problems.
They say, well, Hitler's coming to you. that was very nasty.
Most of the Jews were scared. They didn't want to get hurt. Do you remember seeing any of this? See the burning temple? Do you remember what this was?
Jews were forced to wear a yellow star. You have to wear this. You put this right over here. You used to wear that.
Why?
When you walk on the street, they know you're Jewish.
Did you have to do that to your store?
Yeah.
Write on all the windows, Jude?
You did. That's a Jew.
There were people chucking rocks at Jewish people's stores, only because they were Jewish. My great-grandfather, it was really hard for him. He got kicked out of school because he was Jewish.
The Germans came in and they rounded us up and they sent us to the ghetto. We left everything home. They couldn't take nothing with you.
The ghetto was a little area where they crammed a huge bunch of Jews in there, forced them to live in there.
We had maybe 15 or 20 people sleeping in one room. I slept on the floor.
They lost their homes, they lost their possessions, they lost their money, they lost their businesses, they lost everything. What happened after you were in the ghetto?
I was walking with my friends on the street. I was young, 14. Then the German with the car pulled up and they grabbed me and they took me away.
Did they grab any of your friends?
Yeah,
All of them?
all of them. And they put me in a room. My mother, father, I looked at the window, I only see my father. My mother, she didn't come because she was heartbroken. My father came in, he said like that, goodbye. He told me, you're young, you go to work. We don't know what will happen to us over here. And he was right.
You know what happened to your father?
That happened now. I never saw him, I never knew it, what happened. Never knew what happened to my mother and my father. I never saw him again.
The Nazis wanted to take over all of Europe. And so they invaded one country after another. They planned to kill every single Jewish person in Europe. Did it scare you?
Scared me? Sure they scared me. I always hope I go see my parents again. I always think about them.
When the Nazis captured you from the ghetto, what'd they do?
They transferred me. They put me on the train
To where?
to the camp. They sent me from one camp to the other one. When I was in the Farbrook labor camp, my father sent me this hat. My father did a lot of business with the German people, and they brought this in for me. I knew it why he sent me the hat. Right here, he put the money in, you see? Right here was open. When I got it, I opened up and I found the money right there. But I couldn't do nothing with the money. You couldn't buy nothing in the camp. So I took the money out and I give it to the headman from the camp. That he give me some food and he treat me better.
Great Poppy says the extra food and stuff that he got from the money is how he survived.
Finally, they sent me to Auschwitz.
Auschwitz was a death camp or a concentration camp. Concentration camp was a place where they kept them behind a bunch of electric fences so they wouldn't escape. And had guards around the electric fence with guns to shoot them if they tried to escape.
When I arrived in the camp, they put this number. They didn't call me Jack. They didn't call me my name, they called the number.
So they weren't who they really were, they were just numbers. When he was at the death camps, they were like slaves. They didn't care for them. Like the Nazis made them dig holes just to make them work. They did one little mistake, and they got caught. They just like shoot them, kill them.
We dig the ground, you know. We don't know for what. No peace. You want to lay down and sleep? They call you. They don't know peace.
What did you eat there?
Soup, water. On a Sunday, they give you a piece of bread.
Were you like skinny?
Skinny, my feet were skinny, my whole body was skinny.
How did you get out of Auschwitz?
The Germans started to lose the war and they wanted to run away. They took us and we marched for 6 months, walking every day and night, without food, without fuel. A lot of people couldn't make it.
Thousands and thousands of people just died. If you stopped or like went off course, shot you, dug a hole for you in the hole.
We were walking to May. May 5th, I was liberated by the Russians. When the Russians left, the Americans came in.
After the war, they go back to his hometown. No one was there. Did you find anyone?
In my hometown, I didn't find nobody. That's why I left.
He went to Germany to live there and just placed Christmas camp. And he got married. And then he went on a boat. When he got to America, the funny thing is, he thought his name wasn't fancy enough. So he changed his name to Jack. And then opened up Jack's Fish Market. Yes.
That's my store. What time is it? Time for lunch.
I like it.
You like Reuben? And you, what do you like? you find out with that Sandman.
This is the only place we know that you can get something to eat if you ain't got no money. This is his number right here. And he knows exactly what it means to be hungry. So therefore, if anybody hungry, he will feed them, if you got money or not.
His stories is what changed a lot of people. The way they think, the way they act. You need to know it to understand, stop it from happening in future generations. They say like a year or two, you can really know the survivors left. And so we're trying to get all their stories and information before they pass away. He's a hero to most people for how he survived stuff. I know he's my family's hero.
Our second selection is Behold How Good. And I think after watching that documentary, you can see the good that came out of his actions as he went into the United States and set up his own business and the things that he did. And just to see the goodness in that child's heart.
now we're going to have the candle lighting ceremony. It is going to be a little bit different than we've done in past years. But I want to thank everybody for being here. Those of you from St. Paul's Church, y'all know that I'm bossy, so none of this is something that you guys are not used to. So, well, first of all, I looked at the website for the 2023 Holocaust Memorial Day, and I found that this year's theme is ordinary people. It made so much sense. Ordinary people were murdered. And it was also ordinary people who put their own lives in danger to help. This theme encourages everyone to reflect on the depths that humanity can sink to, but also the ways individuals and communities resist that darkness to be the light. Our world often feels fragile and vulnerable, and we cannot be complacent. Even today, we must challenge prejudice and the language of hatred. It is our duty as human beings to stand up and to speak out. Be the light in the darkness is an affirmation and a call to action for everyone marking Holocaust Memorial Day. We can all stand in solidarity. We can all choose to be the light in the darkness. And this is why the Council for Human Understanding exists. So I invite you to stand as you are able as we light 6 candles representing the 6 million murdered Jews. 3 will be lit from the candle representing Sue Ellen Panitch, and 3 will be lit from the candle representing Dolores Stein. So the first candle. We light our candles by passing the light of memory and hope from one to another. Let us honor those whose lights were put out, whose dreams, hopes, and lives were snuffed out before they even lived, for the 1.5 million children. We light our candles by passing the light of memory and hope from one to another. Let us honor those whose lights were put out, whose dreams, hopes, and lives were snuffed out before they even lived. For the 1.5, sorry, I just wrote this in. You caught on, I saw your face. We light a candle for the untold millions for whom there is no one to mourn, whose entire families were annihilated and who lie in unmarked graves. Thank you, Pat. We light a candle for those who stood upright while others were bending to immoral will, for the righteous among the nations who risked and even gave their lives to help their fellow human beings. And now from Sue Ellen's candle. We light a candle for those brave soldiers who liberated the camps, who carried the dead and near dead in their arms to a kinder and more humane future, and for those who served with the Allied forces to put an end to tyranny and oppression. We light a candle for the nearly 6 million Jews and for the 6 million non-Jews who perished in a planned system of human destruction, the scale of which had never before been imagined. And finally, we light a candle for those who live even now under the yoke of oppression, in places where the threat of genocide is real and ever present. You guys can be seated. You guys do it. Despite the horrors of the Holocaust, we know that genocides have taken place since. Indeed, the Holocaust prompted the coining of the legal term genocide, which has come to be used in Cambodia, Rwanda, Bosnia, and Darfur. Closer to home, on our streets, on public transportation, and online, people are still facing attacks because of who they are. Holocaust Memorial Day presents an opportunity when people from all backgrounds come together to learn from the past and to create a better future. It serves as a reminder that all of us not only have the ability to resist the forces of hatred, we have a responsibility to do so. And so now we end in hope. Please be seated and enjoy a final song from the talented Holyoke High School Madrigals and Director Extraordinaire, Mark Todd.
Thank you, Gina. We're going to end with a piece called Elegy for Dhaka. And so the prevailing theme, and it grows, as it starts very soft and it grows, and it grows and it grows. But the theme is, what have you done? And you'll feel that through their voices, because they're representing the 1.5 million children who didn't make it.
Love you, Mr. Todd.
Are they great? I think we need to stand up for these beautiful, beautiful voices. Thank you so much for Good, I'm glad. So as we wind down, I would ask the Board of Directors for the Council for Human Understanding to please stand. I know we're spread out. So on behalf, keep standing here. It's Simon Says. On behalf of the Greater Holyoke Council for Human Understanding, offer thanks to everyone who helped bring this evening's event together. Special thanks go to the Stein and Panich families and to Scott Stein for continuing his mother's tradition of reading This Is Why We Are Here Tonight. To Mark Todd and the Holyoke High School Madrigals for remarkable music, always tailored for this evening's event. And to Nave Rodriguez and the Council on Aging for always making this space available for this annual event and making us feel so welcome. Along with our thanks to everyone who has joined us this evening, we ask each of you to be the light in the darkness and to support the Council for Human Understanding. Contributions and donations allow us to continue our work in the community and to build upon the legacy of Dolores Stein and Sue Ellen Panich. We are determined to keep their lights shining, and we ask for your support in doing so. I will close by sharing the words of Holocaust survivor Jenna Turgle, who sadly passed away in 2018. Jenna said, "We will continue to do our bit for as long as we can, secure in the knowledge that others will continue to light a candle long after us," and that is our hope as well. So we thank you, and we hope that you will join us for a time of refreshment and conversation. I think it's so important after an event like this to just have some conversation. You can talk with the Board of Directors. You can, give Scott a hug, because after all, is his mom who we're here to honor. So I thank you so, so much, and I hope you'll stay for a few minutes for some refreshment and conversation. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to us, but support the work of the Council for Human Understanding. And we have a Goodwill donation. This is how we are able to do free events, by donations that help us for the other events that we do, scholarships and different things like that. So I hope you will. And so we have a jar here for donations, and we have a card reader now too, so. Okay, thank you so much.